Hello everyone, you are watching Debbab and I am L.Malakar. As many of you already know, I am learning game development by actually making games, not just watching tutorials. So without wasting time, let's dive straight into today's topic. This is part 1 of my game-making journey. I decided to recreate the Chrome Dino game, and in part 0, I explained why I chose this project. In this video, I move forward by creating the Unity project itself and choosing Unity 2D because at the end of the day, the Dino game is a 2D game. I want to be honest here. I had almost no idea about game development when I started. And yes, we live in the age of AI, so I am not learning only from YouTube. I also use GPT-based AI models to understand concepts faster. What I slowly realized is that making a game in Unity requires some basic but very important knowledge. How the Unity engine actually works, understanding the Unity layout, knowing about sprites, shapes, colliders, and rigid bodies, and MOs. Importantly, learning how to navigate inside the project and hierarchy windows. At first, everything felt overwhelming. There were thousands of things on the screen at once, and honestly, it felt like hell for a beginner like me. But I didn't quit. I started small. First, I added 2 game objects, the player and the ground. Then I added rigid body 2D and collider 2D components so they could collide properly. I gave the player gravity, adjusted a few physics values, and tested how it behaves. If you don't understand these things yet, don't worry. I spent 5 full days on this stage and still felt like I knew nothing. That is completely normal. Next, I worked on player control. I wrote, actually partly generated with AI, a script that allows the player to jump when the screen is tapped or a key is pressed. I also locked the Z-axis so the player doesn't rotate. Thankfully, this part worked perfectly. After that, I moved to the next big step, looping the ground. At first, I tried to do it fully with AI help, but honestly, it completely failed. The logic was wrong, the movement felt broken, and I had to restart that part. Then I watched some tutorials, tried to understand the logic myself, and finally wrote a working ground loop script. Yes, it still has flaws, but for a beginner, this was a huge achievement. During this process, I realized that my player script stopped working correctly. So I had to tweak some settings and fix conflicts between scripts. I also improved the ground logic, and now everything works smoothly as you can see on screen. So this is what I made in today's video. It may not look impressive, but what I learned matters more than what I built. If you are also a beginner, struggling, confused, or feeling lost, you are not alone. Learning game development is hard, slow, and sometimes frustrating, but it is worth it. Thank you for supporting me. I'll see you in the next video, where we continue this journey together.